What's up, Baby Blue fam, and welcome back. First, I want to apologize for not posting last week. I've been really busy between school and preparing for college, but today I decided I'm going to walk you guys through on the Common Application app/website on how you can fill out your applications for colleges. Small background is I am applying to 4 different colleges, which are UMass, UA, Delhi, and Alfred. My major for now is vet tech, but I will be switching to vet eventually, depending on how everything goes, if I even pass my vet tech license test. Let's get into it. So, first off, this is my dashboard where all my colleges are located. As you can see, my Alfred and Delhi do say they aren't due until July, but that's because they're an all year round application. But their early action, which is what I'm doing, is due around the 1st or the 15th, depending on the college. When you go to my colleges, there'll be all your colleges where you can answer all the questions that they give you, your recommendations, and FERPA, which is pretty much where your teachers and counselors will submit their letters of recommendation and all that fun stuff. Then you will eventually review and submit what you posted, but I don't have my Common App essay yet, so I can't do that yet. So in your Common App tab, it's basically just going to be like all about you, your profile, your family, education, if you've taken an SAT or ACT, and then what activities you've done, including some clubs, work, sports. I have multiple because of being a well-rounded child as a kid. Then writing is where you're going to put your essay when you have it. I'm still doing it in English class, so I cannot post mine yet. As you continue on, you have the college search tab. This is where you can look up all the colleges you want to go to and where you want to apply to. So you would search it by the college name or the city name it's in, and you just add them to your list. Then financial aid resources. FAFSA just opened up on the 1st, which I gotta do this. I never did it yet. But this is where you can go through to get your FAFSA and how to do it. Apparently it's really tough to do, so please do it with your parents so it's done correctly. But basically all I'm doing at this point is going through, seeing what's due and what's not. But my top school right now is SUNY Delhi. I hope to be in their vet tech program, but as you can see, I have everything completed. I just have to make sure my Common App is essays in there before I submit it, because I would like them to see my essay, even though it is optional. And also for the fact of I do not have my transcripts yet due to personal reasons, so I guess it won't be in this tab. So I won't be able to report any of my transcripts just yet. My counselors may have to just later on. So now I try to plan on answering as much as I can on what the most common questions are for when you're applying to a college. Now, which colleges should I apply to? All depends on you. You can apply to where you feel comfortable after going on a tour with them, or if they just have your major. I know I just did what has my major and the colleges I toured for the fact of my major is rare in my state, thanks New York, so I applied to whatever I could. How many colleges should I apply to? Apply to how many as you want. I just suggest not going over 8, honestly, because you have to pay a fee for your application, and I don't think, for 4 colleges, I'm paying roughly $200 already. So I suggest not doing a lot, because then it's more money you have to pay in the long run. So, should I fill out my application in the Common App? Definitely. It's a lot easier on everyone, especially because do you really want to print out 10 different pages of the same application to fill out and write everything out, including your essay? It's a lot easier on the Common App. What SAT, ACT score do I need? Right now, since I'm in the class of 21, I had no SATs available to me, so we do not require SAT. which most colleges have dropped the SAT anyway this year for the class of 21 and 22. But I would say most colleges average out needing a score of 1,000. But honestly, just try your best, and if they don't think your best is enough, then you aren't right for that college and you deserve to go somewhere that's better for you for the fact that they did not accept you. What should I write about for my college essay slash personal statement? So, your college essay should be personal. Not super personal where it's like talking about your like biggest regrets in life or how you murdered someone. It should be about something you went through. For example, mine is about me going through how I started pageantry and how I chose my platform based on personal experiences, and being my platform being PTSD awareness and all that. What looks best on college applications? Obviously, having good grades. I suggest having like 75s, 80s, and higher. Because obviously, the better the grade, the better they'll look at you, and the more in depth they'll look at you. And be honest, honestly. Like, if you're just honest in all your questions in your essay and stuff, they're gonna, like, enjoy seeing that from someone versus someone being fake. But also, if you can get more than one letter of recommendation from a teacher and counselor, I suggest to, because then they can see a more personal side of you and they can see other people's opinions on you. Also, I suggest to have volunteer experiences. In New York, you have to graduate with a certain amount of volunteer experiences, but I'm also part of NHS, so I need volunteer hours. But I do suggest having like about 10-ish volunteer hours because colleges like seeing that someone can get personal with society and their community, and it looks really good. What are some good questions to ask college administrations? So I would suggest like how you can make your application stand out. Do they think it's a good fit for you? What's the average class size? Who who would be teaching my classes? And what's the average amount of financial aid students receive? Financial aid will save you. It's practically free money until you have to pay it off, but it helps in the long run. How many how many is too many college applications? People suggest about 5 to 8 schools being the general amount, which is like the general rule. But you should not be sending more than 10 applications. It's way too much. You're most likely they're gonna see that you applied to too many schools. It may make you look insecure. So you may just want to keep it on low to your top 5 schools, most likely. Do colleges care if you play sports? They do if you're going to be recruited to their teams versus just playing as a club. So put in your application that you played some sports and what your level was, etc. But they're not going to really care unless they're recruiting you. Do colleges look at National Honor Society? So that's pretty much like evaluate the students in the school's academics, leadership, and community engagement. So NHS does benefit students into going to colleges because they see they have a higher academic than most students do, and they have a huge commitment towards serving their community. So it shows his or hers like leadership and membership in the community. Can you ask a college why you were denied? So you can, but they're pretty much just going to tell you the same thing over and over again, that there was people they chose over you and that you did not make their cut. And honestly, if you send a letter to them asking, they may see it as a humiliation thing, and they may be like, "We made a good choice denying this person because they're trying to be rude about it or something." So, if a college denies you, please don't write a letter to them asking why they did. Just accept it and choose the better college for you. Can a university reconsider your application? Under certain circumstances, wording, they can, especially if there's an error on your initial application. But after they reject you, most of the time they will not, because unless there was a certain reason you had to re-enter your application. Does top 10 actually make a difference? In some schools, top 10 will make a difference, or top 20, top 30, depends on how many people in your class. I have 50 kids in my graduating class. I am top 20, which honestly is pretty good in my school, especially because we all have, if you're 20th and up towards first, we all are 0.01 points away from each other with our GPAs, so it actually doesn't mean a lot coming from our school on what our ranks are. But, and obviously if you're a bigger school, if you're top 10, it'll make a huge difference. But if your school's average and your rank is not weighed or doesn't matter in your school, then it's most likely not going to matter in the university. They're mostly just looking at how you are as a working student and how you are in your community. That's all I have for today, so thank you for coming and watching. Make sure you subscribe and click that notification bell and click like, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, Baby Blue fam!